Hey everybody, I'm Andy.
And I'm Sean.
And this is the Commander's Brew.
This week, Mairsil the Pretender.
Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 109 of the Commander's Brew Commander podcast.
This is probably what $1 is with tax in a lot of places.
Yeah, $1.09.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it was for us for a long time, and now it's not anymore.
No, now it's $1. What is it now?
14?
Is it or 13?
Something like that.
I don't know what our tax is right now.
Yeah, I think it's 15. Anyways, not to get into Canadian economic systems right away. But yeah, we're here. It's episode 109. It's our first episode after Commander 17 has essentially been, I mean, it's not out yet technically, but since our set review,
everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it. There's a lot of cards to talk about. We, of course, went over all the new C17 cards last week.
Some very exciting ones.
And there's tons of good ones. And now we're going to take a closer look at some of the different decks in the weeks ahead. But before we do that, you got to take care of a little bit of business.
Yep. We're brought to you by the Wizards Tower, wizardtower.com. We're brought to you by Ultimate Guard, cards and sleeves and shields and boxes.
Shields.
shield your cards from Soda Pop.
Yeah, that's right.
If you double sleeve them. Also, you guys from Patreon, patreon.com. That's a huge way of supporting us. In fact, a recent upgrade where you're about to see is at the end of this episode. Watch out for that. I'm not going to spoil it, though. So let's hear an ad from the Wizards Tower. Hi, I run a wand store. You'd think I would have tons of business because a Wizard's Tribal deck was coming out, but for some reason, wizards from Magic don't like using wands. Man, what a rip. Crystal balls, I mean, there's a crystal ball. It scries when you pay 2 and tap it, I think. I forget. I really should know my own inventory. I just should have baubles, right? Urza's got baubles. I don't have baubles. Chandra's got goggles. Urza's got baubles. I'm just a guy trying to sell some wands. Maybe I should get into the magic card business. I mean, I love what the Wizards Tower does. wizardtower.com. Free shipping on singles $15 or more to Canada or the US. And you get 3% kickback. And guess what? I think I know I can use coupon code Tower of Brews to get an extra 5% off. That's a pretty sweet deal. Anyway, I guess I'll just go take inventory of things and hope I don't turn into a frog or something. Rib bit.
And we're back.
All right.
That's business. But also, we're going to get into the Commander's Brew segment right here. But you know what? I always forget this, but people always ask us, like, what are we playing lately? Like, what have we played? Do we have any cool, like, game stories and things like that? And I'm really springing this on Sean right now because I actually just remembered it myself.
Okay.
But Sean, is there anything you've been actually, like, playing? Are there any decks you've been liking lately? Any things you're, like, looking to brew, like, outside of the show? Anything like that? You want to talk about?
Yes. Absolutely. I don't have my Neheb deck yet, but it's not put together. I don't have a Neheb, but I cannot wait. I've got all the little pieces sitting here. And also part of it is I really want to use red sleeves for them. I don't want to put them in blue sleeves.
Right, because we sleeve all of our stuff the same color as a remnant of the old
staple
system that we have since kind of leaned out on. Also, you are working on a mono red cube, isn't that right?
Yeah, I'm trying to put a mono red cube together because I think it would be cool. There's a lot of cool red cards that we'd never get to use. But I'm finding the removal is very kind of, it's just burn, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the bigger the toughness, the harder it is to kill. And I'm finding it hard to balance large things because there's a couple of dragons that are like 4/4s for 4, and those are almost impossible to deal with if you don't have the right cards. So it's kind of like a game over thing. I don't like that idea there, but maybe I just put 5-drop dragons and slow that deck down a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, slow it down a bit maybe. You mentioned that like it's Glory Bringer that's a real problem, and
Lordbringer's a problem. Yeah.
you said there's one from
Well, there's that one from Kaladesh that's just 2 red for a 4/4, and you can pay a red to give it haste or first strike or fire breathing. So like that one's pretty bonkers.
Yeah, because you have all red mana.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that card is just right out the bat crazy.
Like that's not the reason it's crazy though. It's just because like it's so hard to deal with a 4/4 flyer in mono red. So unless you have something to do 4 damage, which there are a few of, but if you can't, and then if they drop it anywhere after 4 mana, then it's already got haste. So like it's brutal.
Wow. That's a cool project though.
Yeah.
The mono red cube.
I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun. The main reason for it is because of Glorious End. I just want a format where Glorious End is a card.
So you're building an entire cube just to make one card playable.
I mean, that was what tipped me over the edge.
Where did you get the idea for that though? The mono red cube.
I
feel like I heard it. Like did someone mention it on a podcast or something? Was it on LR maybe?
I don't know.
Like they were talking about cube once, I feel like, and like one of them mentioned that they'd even seen a mono red cube or something.
I wonder.
I feel like that might have been it. Anyways, it's a neat idea either way. Very, very cool.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, what about me? I'm looking to change my Daxos, the Returned. So that's the white black Daxos. I'm looking to change it into Zur.
Ooh.
Because I have a Zur the Enchanter, I have a foil Zur, and I'm like, oh, okay. And the Daxos, the return deck that I have right now, doesn't even really care about using Daxos. Like it's just like a recursion, like an enchantment recursion deck, basically. And I think Zur is just better suited for it. Obviously, the tutoring is nice, but just to add blue as well would be pretty sweet. So I'm thinking it's not really a Zur deck. Like I'm not going to be tutoring for like things to Voltron em up or anything like that, but just once in a while to be able to like grab the answer you need is kind of nice with him, right? So
do you feel you will get like Zur brings a lot of hate with him just because he's Zur though? Like do you think that's worth it?
We'll see. It'll definitely be a thing where I like barely play him. Like I think and like I'm not going to put a lot of protection in for him because he just kind of is there to like, okay, well, hopefully maybe I can get one card with him as a tutor. Otherwise, the deck is just going to be a fun bounce, enchantments, recursion, all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a very different Zur deck, I think, than what people are used to. So I think if I say that, people will be like, okay, let's see. And then if I play Zur right away and then like start tutoring up, it's like, oh, then you're lying. I'm going to kill you. But like once they see it happen without Zur, I think they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is different.
There's the thing though that like sometimes people talk about that, but then what ends up happening is people kill you first anyway, and then look through your deck once you're dead and be like, oh yeah, it was fair.
Well, I mean, again, we'll just have to see what people think about it. Now they've heard me talk about it. Maybe if we end up playing it, anybody who's listening to this episode, they'll know that it's not a real Zur deck. Although I'm surprised at how many enchantments are 3 CMC and less. It's almost all of them. Like the ones that I already had in the Daxos deck. Like I'm just looking through it. I'm like, wow, this already kind of is suited for Zur. It's nuts. But yeah,
sure.
I'm excited to see what happens with it. I don't know what blue I'm going to add to it yet. I don't know what blue enchantments are going to be the ones to add. I might keep Daxos in the 99 even, but we'll see.
That makes sense.
Maybe. Anyways, that's what I'm doing, and that's what Sean's doing. But now let's get to the Commander's Burn segment. Sean, why don't you fill us in on what we were burning, because we took a week off from the burns.
We took a week off because we did our C17 preview, and it was just so dense we didn't have time for it. But we're going to go back to it. Hashtag Commander's Burn. We've culled some from Twitter. And last time we put on the coals Azor's Elocutors. Man, so hard to say.
Elocutors?
It should be Elocutors, but there's a stupid O there. So it's Elocutors.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Loq Tours.
Anyway, shut up, Azor.
Anyways, shut up, you weird old man.
So great. So we put some of our favorite burns we found on Twitter. Why don't you go first, Andy?
Okay, this one's from Just Guy Angel, longtime listener and friend of the show. Hey, Azor's Loq Tours. Like Monastery Mentor said, speak little, do much. You've got it backwards.
Nice.
Right.
Just Guy Angel, solid burn submissions.
Yeah, solid burns.
Yeah. This one's from Natty Cat. I can't tell what your screen name is. It's in Japanese characters, but it's at Natty Cat. Hey, Azor's Loq Tours. I didn't know it was possible to actually talk someone to death. Or did they die of boredom?
Yes, either way, that's not mutually exclusive. You talk someone to death, I think it means they died of boredom.
Yep.
That's exactly what these guys are doing. And finally, we have Melamo Barp. Is it Melamo Barp? Is it Mela Mob Arp?
There's no way to know.
Melamoba RP. Anyways, it's Barry. Anyways,
all that. Anyway, Barry.
Anyway, Barry. Barry says, Loq Tours is a huge flavor win. Bore players to death in game by filibuster and in real life with most boring win con ever. That is very true. This just wants you to like sit there and do nothing and then somehow win the game because of it.
Oh boy. Yeah, so lame.
I don't like it one bit. Hey, Azor's Loq Tours, way to have Chef Boyardee on your card, man.
Yeah, he does look like Chef Boyardee.
That dude is pure Chef Boyardee there holding that scroll or whatever that is.
Yeah. What's the recipe for? Dirt?
Yeah. What's the recipe for? Disappointing tomato sauce?
Yeah. I bit into one of your raviolis, but instead of delicious beef, it was just moss.
Hey, Azor's Loq Tours, way to have your win condition as low-grade meat.
Yeah.
This is a very strange hybrid burning session here.
Hey, Azor's Loq Tours, the only time I want you is in my earth cake prep kit along with a can opener.
Earth cake, you did say. You did say earth cake.
Earth cake, cake from the earth.
When I'm making my earth cake.
Every Earth Day I make an earth cake for Earth's birthday.
Do you have other burns?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I don't.
Hey, Azor's Loq Tours, you win the award for lamest counter a card ever could use. Filibuster counters are so lame, I wouldn't use dice for them. I would use rotten grapes. Oh, would that wreck the card? Well, the grapes will eventually turn into wine. You wouldn't even turn into toilet paper.
Burn. 1,000 burns. You wouldn't even turn into toilet paper? What a huge burn on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, I wouldn't use you if all I had was like
that should be the bottom. That should be the bottom rung. It's like, well, at least at some point I'll be used for toilet paper probably. But no, not even this guy. Not this guy. No way.
No.
I'm out of my burns. My burns were all Chef Boyardee based.
Yeah, great. Well, okay, let's mention next week's burn victim then. If you want to participate, if you want to get in on the sick burns, use the hashtag CommandersBurn, and then we're burning Descent into Madness. That's 3 black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a despair counter on Descent into Madness. Then each player exiles X permanents he or she controls and or cards from his or her hand, where X is the number of despair counters on Descent into Madness.
Ooh, that's a harsh card, like a strange card to build around.
Yeah, I think it's trying to be fair smokestacks, but it's so fair it's not good.
Yeah, it's way to be too fair, Descent into Madness.
Yeah.
Okay, get those burns in. Descent into Madness. I'll tell you one thing right now, it sent me into a descent into sadness because of how bad it is. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the main topic today. This is our first. So let's explain what we're doing. Usually, we do for the C7. So the commander sets, we'll do a budget upgrade, which is we'll take the deck. It's about $35 or whatever it is, and we'll add about $15 to bring it up to $50, and that's going to be the upgrade of the deck. Well, with these decks, we got tribal decks, right? We got a bunch of tribal synergies going on, and they've really rammed it full of of good tribal synergies. It's like, we would be telling you to add things like bell-based portal and like just kind of automatic includes when it comes to any tribal deck. So it's kind of like it feels like they would almost all be the same, right?
And also what makes it harder right now is because they're tribal, a lot of these tribal cards are sort of generic.
Mm-hmm.
So they have spiked recently because people are buying them up in anticipation of adding to their decks. So that even makes, not only is it make it tough to be creative with the budget upgrades, that we don't have room for much because the ones we would be adding, they fill up that $15 budget pretty quick.
Exactly. It's another good point. So we decided to take a bit of a different spin here. I don't know if, if you listened to the show last week, you'll know, but if you've taken a look at the decks, you'll probably know this. But all of the Eminence commanders are very strong tribal commanders, and they're very strong commanders for the decks that they already come in. But the other two, in most cases, there are some exceptions. I think like the cat deck is probably the main exception. But the other three decks, all of those other commanders, 2 for each one of them, you can have wildly different deck plans and deck synergies that are not necessarily tribal. So what we've decided to do is take one of those for each deck and build a completely brand new deck around that, probably using a bunch of the cards still from the pre-con. So it's an upgrade in some ways, but it's more of an overhaul than anything else.
Yeah, it's sort of like a starting from scratch thing because the commanders do something so differently from their tribal companions.
Right. But I mean, you can keep the same, mana base, except for maybe the dragons. And there's still going to be some decent cards in there for you. So
definitely some overlap.
Yeah,
definitely some overlap.
There's going to be some overlap, but yeah, it is essentially an overhaul. So for the first one, as you already know, we chose Mairsil the Pretender, and that's from the Wizard Precon, the Wizard's Precon. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know.
It is Arcane Wizardry.
There you go. Okay, so Sean, you took the lead on this one, so why don't you get us going here?
So Mairsil the Pretender is 1 in a Grixis. 1 blue, black, red, legendary human wizard, 4/4. When Mairsil the Pretender enters the battlefield, you may exile an artifact or creature card from your hand or graveyard and put a cage counter on it. And he has all the activated abilities of all of those cards. So it doesn't matter how many times Mairsil leaves the battlefield and gets recast. As long as they're exiled with a cage counter on, Mairsil will always have those abilities. That can never get taken away. I guess the only way to do that is if you had those like Eldrazi processors where you pulled cards out of people's exile. I suppose that's a way to do it. But barring that, he'll have these abilities forever. So we obviously want to focus on creatures and artifacts that have cool abilities. And even further, I tried to favor abilities that did not have a tap symbol in them because I want to be able to use each one a lot. Now, I didn't read this clause. You may activate each of those abilities only once each turn. So, you can use all of them once, right? Like I don't want to have to tap and then Mairsil can't do anything until my next turn. I want to activate this one that doesn't tap, this one that doesn't tap, this other one that doesn't tap, and then this one that taps. We want value, right? That's what Commander's all about. So that's kind of where we're going. That's kind of the overall game plan. And as it turns out, Mairsil becomes a bit of a superhero. Like you gotta there's so many abilities on this guy that he becomes his own Voltron sort of commander as well.
Sweet. Yeah, I can imagine that with the different ones that pump power and being able to come in and out and stuff like that. So very cool. All right, let's take a look at the important categories the deck wants to use. Start us off.
So I think the most important thing to do is to give Mairsil his independence, teach him. We're not going to teach him to steal activated abilities. Wait, we're not going to give him activated abilities. We're going to teach him to steal activated abilities, if you get my drift. That means bounce. We want to give Mairsil an ability to put himself back in our hands or flicker himself so that we can keep activating his ability without extra cards.
Right.
And the first one we want to mention is Kenneth the Omnipotent. This is in the deck already. 3 blue, wizard, 3/4, legendary. So there's 2 abilities. You get 2 for the price of 1 cage. tap, draw 3 cards. That's just amazing. Or 2 blue, no taps, return our Kenneth the Omnipotent or Mairsil, if it happens to be, to its owner's hand. So there you go. So for 4 mana, we can put Mairsil back in our hand, no problem. And we can tap for 3 cards if we need to.
Sweet. Right. Okay. Next. Okay, you're gonna have to explain this one a little bit also because this is a neat card. We have Oviedo Mansir.
Ovino
Mansir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oviedo Mansir is a different thing, right?
Yes. Right. I don't know.
Anyways, Oviedo Mansir is 2 and a blue for an 0/1 human wizard. When Oviedo Mansir enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you return 3 basic lands you control to their owner's hand. Okay. Then you tap them and return Oviedo Mansir to its owner's hand. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. That creature's controller creates an 0/1 green sheep creature token. Okay, so actually it's very simple, right? So he just gets this ability when you exile it, and that's sweet. It not only destroys a creature, it bounces Mairsil, and I mean it gives them an 0/1 sheep, but that's fine. What are they going to do with that? Yeah, a green sheep. Don't care.
Yeah. And then the secret bonus of Oviedo Mansir is like we never need to cast him. We just exile him out of our hand. Like we're never going to pay the price. But we can. It is possible because the only place that Mairsil can't exile creatures for cage counters is on the battlefield.
Right.
So we could have a creature on the battlefield that we really want to get in the cage. So we could destroy that creature on our side, turn it into a sheep, get in our graveyard, Oviedo Mansir, aka Mairsil, comes back to our hand. Then we cast him again, and then exile the thing that just went to the yard.
Right. So it sounds like there's a lot of bouncing to hand, which sounds to me like there's you need a lot of mana in the deck. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm running a lot of more lands than normal. And okay, here's a little limited tip too. So we all know that there's cycling desert lands, right? Mm-hmm. I always like to put a couple of cycling lands in decks because I think it's so nice to draw a land that can turn into another card late game when you don't want more lands. Right. But I talked to someone saying how like the reason in limited these desert lands are so good is because it prevents flooding. So that doesn't mean run 15 lands. That means run 17 or 18 lands without fear because you'll just turn the extra ones into cards, no problem. So I kind of went with that approach. I put in like the regular cycling lands and the desert cycling lands. So a little bit more of that. So I bumped up my land count a little bit. So I think we can get there and hopefully mitigate the flood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, what's next?
We got Escape Artist. This guy is 1 and a blue. 1/1 Escape Artist is unblockable. And for a single blue, you get to discard a card from your hand, return Escape Artist to its owner's hand. Again, with Mairsil, we get to take... It doesn't matter if the card's in our hand or the graveyard, so that's sort of a neutral cost if it's something we're planning to put in the cage anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so for a single blue, we'll put our commander back in our hand, pay 4 and exile the thing that we just put in the graveyard, for example. So a total of 5 mana to get that cycle going if we've put Escape Artist on it. And again, like a lot of these creatures, like not maybe Oviedo Mansir, but Escape Artist we're happy to just have on the board anyway as a 1/1 attacking unblockable until we need it to block and chump. Or as you'll see, because there's a little bit of a Voltron E thing going on. We do have some equipment, so Escape Artist wears equipment very well.
Oh, neat. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say like, how good is the 1/1 attacking? But yeah, if you're gonna suit it up with something, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, we can.
Sweet. Okay. Next, of course, is any good commander deck that is built around the commander needs to protect that commander. Mairsil, luckily, it seems like. It doesn't come with built-in protection necessarily, but it's very. It seems like there's a good way to protect him, which is using his own innate ability. So first, when it comes to protecting Mairsil, we have Ethereum Horn Sorcerer. 4 blue-red. It's an artifact Minotaur Wizard. It's an artifact creature, and it has 1 blue-red. Return Ethereum Horn Sorcerer to its owner's hand. Simple. Same thing as you know, getting it going. Bouncing him, getting more cage counters on things that way. And also the Ethereum Horn Sorcerer also has Cascade. So, if you ever just actually needed to cast this, if you've already got a nice way to bounce Mairsil, then this is going to be 2 spells for you.
Yeah, it's expensive, but this sorcerer turns into a very effective mana sink after a while because you're just putting a lot of stuff out at once.
Sweet.
And then I want to talk about the Molten Tail Masticore. All the Masticores are pretty good in this deck, but this is my favorite one. Again, it's another creature that has a drawback on its text, but its activated abilities are sort of like, well, we're giving you great activated abilities, so we better put a drawback on it. Guess what? Mairsil don't see those drawbacks.
You don't get that drawback.
Molten Tail Masticore, 4 mana, generic for an artifact creature Masticore. This is a 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you discard a card. I mean, again, if we really had to, we could probably still use them from the graveyard. But 4, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Molten Tail Masticore deals 4 damage to target creature or player. I don't love that one because we want to be exiling our creatures on into the cages. But if we need to, that's a way to do damage to a player. That's a way to sort of close out some games. But mainly, 2 generic, regenerate Molten Tail Masticore. So now if we exile this in the cage, we can regenerate Mairsil for just 2 generic anytime. So now, bouncing is only to serve to get new abilities, but once we have some bounce for protection, some regenerate for protection, then we can start going into Voltron mode.
Sweet. Speaking of that same kind of protection, Twisted Abomination is an easy one. It's 5 and a black for a 5/3, and it says black, regenerate Twisted Abomination, and it has swamp cycling for 2. So this is very simple to just toss it in your graveyard, get a swamp if you need it, and then you can, get Mairsil going, and then it has 1 black regenerate it, which is an underrated ability. Regenerate is always very underrated, I think, in Commander. Yeah, there are things that do get around it, your Wrath of Gods and so on, but it's still pretty strong.
Oh, for sure. And since we can only use 1 per turn, it doesn't hurt to have multiple instances of regeneration because we can't use the same one twice. This is a card that I will always swamp cycle because A, we want the mana, and B, it doesn't matter if it's in the graveyard or the hand. It's just upside.
Nice.
So you knew this was coming. We're going to go Voltron. We're going to start swinging. One of the ways we're going to do that is Tenza, Godot's Maul. This is neat. I never discovered this one before. This could be surprises and discoveries. But 3 generic for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. As long as it's legendary, it gets an additional +2/+2. And as long as it's red, it has trample. And it equips for a single mana. So it will give Mairsil +3/+3 and trample.
I have a question. So Mairsil also does its thing to artifacts as well, right?
Yes, it does.
So could you equip Mairsil if you had a cage counter on Tenza Godot's Maul? Could you now equip Mairsil to something else?
I have no idea.
That seems like maybe equip is a thing that natively can only work for equipment. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's some rule text where it's if it's not an equipment, you can't equip it even if it has the equip ability. I bet that's what it is. But
I mean,
that's kind of funny to just have Mairsil equipped to a creature even though it would do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wouldn't do entirely nothing in the sense that
well, it would, wouldn't it?
Well, because I know that only because phasing is back in favor, that if something is equipped or enchanted and it phases out, the things that are equipped and enchanted to it also phase out.
That's true, yeah.
So that you could a very complicated way. I don't know. Oh, here I pulled up the rules for equipment, and for those interested, 212.2i, an equipment that's also a creature can't equip a creature. Equipment that loses the subtype equipment can't equip a creature.
Okay.
An equipment can't equip itself. An equipment that equips an illegal or non-existent permanent stops equipping that permanent but remains in play. Great. So
okay,
yeah, you can't.
You can't. All right.
You can't.
That's fun though. Fun to think about.
Really fun to think about.
Hey, hop on, Mairsil. You're my sword now.
No. Okay.
Okay. I'm not really gonna do anything. Next we have Riptide Mangler. It's a 1 and a blue for a creature. It's a beast. It's an 0/3, and it has the activated ability of 1 and a blue. Change Riptide Mangler's power to target creature's power. So anything else big on the battlefield, you can just have Mairsil now all of a sudden have that power,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Yeah. So this is a easy way. Like he already starts at 4. I mean, it's a full change. There would have to be something 7 or greater, but that's very common. It's very common for there to be something very big on the battlefield.
Of course, yeah. You got a big, what's it called? Those consuming aberration.
Oh my goodness!
I love it
yeah.
when those guys are out when someone's playing their graveyard deck, or like a one of those, just one of those other ones that gets as big as. Those are the ones I see commonly that have the most power. Is like things that are like, this has +1/+1 for each creature in graveyards, and it'll be like, oh, this thing is like 40 or something, right? So
yeah.
if you're playing against a lot of those players, this guy's huge.
I always see giant Hamlet back Goliaths.
Yes, yep. Those guys get very big very fast.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What's next?
Yeah, let's talk about Drana Calastria Blood Chief. This actually came in the Vampire precon.
Yeah.
Drana is a 3 black for a legendary vampire shaman, 4/4 with flying. And here's the activated ability we're looking to steal. X black. Target creature gets -0/-X until end of turn, and Drana gets +X/+O until end of turn. So Mairsil is able to now disintegrate creatures, right? Like they just like shrink to invisibility, so that works on indestructible and all that stuff. Not only that, that also gives Mairsil a power boost. So even if you don't need to like reduce a creature to nothing, you can like way overspend just to get like plus a whole bunch on Mairsil.
Yeah. The X is up to you. You can spend 20X if you want, and just hit a 1/1 for -8, and you'll still get the +20.
Yep.
Cool. Drana, very powerful creature. I never really like. I always looked at this and it was always like, oh, what a weird thing. But now I get it. It's like she sucks the toughness out of you and uses it for her power. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Classic vampire.
Speaking of this, which is a fun ability, we have some other fun abilities.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of using Riptide Mangler, well, what about if you have a Colossus of Akros? Colossus of Akros is the 8 mana, 8 generic mana for an artifact creature golem. It's a 10/10. It has Defender and Indestructible. And its ability is pay 10 for Monstrosity 10. So it'll get just 10 counters on it. As long as Colossus of Akros is monstrous, it has trample and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So obviously, if we get Mairsil with the 10 monstrous ability, that is fun. That is also huge Voltron. Like, that's big. Basically a win condition right there. But the Colossus of Akros itself is a very strong card. I really think it's a very good card in Commander. It's like, especially since it's like basically a budget version of a lot of those other giant, Colossus-like creatures, like your Blightsteel Colossus, your Darksteel Colossus, that sort of thing. This is very much the budget version of them, and it can be just as strong. I mean, if you get this guy down and you manage to monster sim, like say next turn or something, you're looking at a 2020 or 2020 indestructible trampler. Like that's tough to deal with.
That's legit.
Yeah. So either way you want to use this card, I always dread seeing it on the other side of the board and love having it on my side.
Oh yeah, so many cards in that category.
Oh yes, like pretty much all of them. But anyways,
I also dread when there's chips on the other side of the table, but I love when they're on my side of the table.
I really hate it when chips are out of my reach, but love it when they're right beside me. I dread seeing chips across the table that I can't have.
I dread forbidden chips.
Forbidden chips.
Oh man, I'm kind of trying to consider all chips to be forbidden chips. I eat too many chips, Andy.
Oh man, I love chips. I
love chips
gotta
too
cut back
much.
on chips.
I gotta cut back on chips. So many chips.
I'm always eating too many chips. I had chips yesterday.
Yeah, infinite chips.
Oh man, imagine you had a combo that was infinite chips.
Oh, infinite chip combo?
Yeah, just infinite chips.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty salty.
We are talking about chips. Okay, go on.
Wait, where were we?
We were
doing a podcast, right?
We were doing a podcast.
Chips.
Instead, we got distracted by chips.
I totally forgot what we were doing. Okay. So another interesting card that has an interesting activated ability that I'd like to consider is Guyler of Wills. 3 blue for a 1/1. Human wizard, but here it is. Tap, gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to the number of creatures you can control. Pretty neat. Throw that on Mairsil. Like, there's usually a target we can grab if we have a few creatures out. I haven't really been highlighting it, but a lot of the little kind of utility creatures that have abilities, there are fairly cheap to cast. So it is. I am assuming we're going to cast them early and chump with them. I think that's their lot in life. And then once they have chumped, they'll go to the graveyard, and then we'll just take whatever we need from Mairsil. That's kind of how I'm thinking it. So it's very reasonable to have 4 or 5 creatures on the battlefield. And in that case, Guyler of Wills just steals almost anything.
Sweet. This one is like a fun ability, but it doesn't look super fun, but it's fun in this deck for sure. It's Horseshoe Crab. 2 and a blue for a 1/3 that says blue, untap Horseshoe Crab. Pretty simple little ability, but when Mairsil gets the untap ability, pretty sweet. Even though you can only use it once per turn,
yes,
still very good because you can use it once per turn. Don't forget. So you can do something on your turn, untap it. Next player's turn, you can do that again, and so you can do it for as many rotations around the table. So it's not like it's completely just one time ever. If you can untap them and then you can repeat those abilities on other players' turns, which is great.
Yeah, like a double Guyler of Wills is pretty awesome.
Horseshoe Crab seems like a very strong card for this commander.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was up. It was in contention for 3 stars of the deck.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, this is great, and I love that. Like, it's classic old Magic where it just has a real animal. Like, they would never make this card now because there's nothing magical about this.
No, it's so boring.
It's just a real crab. And given that horseshoe crabs are weird, and they look kind of like they're from some bit of fantasy or something, like they look like they're from like Skyrim or something like that,
Yeah, or they look a little bit like StarCraft to me.
Yeah, there's that too. They could be a weird Zerg tank or something. But I guess that was enough for them to include it in there. They do also just have Grizzly Bear, I guess. So this is back when they were just taking inspiration from real life.
Yeah, the early Magic meetings are like, okay, any good new ideas for the card? Oh, what about a cool wizard staff? Oh, great idea.
Great.
You? I don't know, cows?
I was at the beach the other day and I saw this weird looking crab. Can we use that? Yeah, I guess. Sure. Okay, so yeah, Horseshoe Crab, very solid actually in this deck. But speaking of those 3 stars.
Yeah, let's talk about the 3 stars of the deck, okay? So star number 3... Metatron Aerostat. Yeah, one dude comes to the pitch meeting with like Horseshoe Crab, and the other guy's like Metatron Aerostat.
Okay, first of all, what's a Metatron and what's an Aerostat? What country on Earth can I find these?
You show off.
Jerry over here brought Horseshoe Crab. I want something simple.
Yeah.
This guy's giving me ideas like grizzly bears and horseshoe crabs. You got to give what the hell's a Metatron?
You just know that Jerry with the horseshoe crab always steals this guy's lunch at work.
Go, Jerry.
If I had my own Metatron Aerostat, you wouldn't be laughing.
You wouldn't have my peanut butter and banana sandwich.
I love that sandwich.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one.
Okay, read Metatron Aerostat.
Okay, sure. It's 2 blue for a ship. No,
actually, you know what? It has been oracled to be creature Metatron. What?
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, whenever something makes you name a creature type, you can name Metatron.
You can definitely always name Metatron. What?
What is a Metatron?
That's bizarre.
I'm looking it up. It must mean something.
Metatron. I don't know. I just assumed it was some magic thing.
Metatron, it's only MTG stuff comes up on a search. I think MTG made it up.
Oh, yeah. The Thran, right? So maybe
Thran Dynamo.
Yeah,
Metathran. They're more than Thran. Yeah, okay. Anyway, what does this card do? This stupid card. It's a good card. 2 blue for a flying 2/2 Metathran. And here's the activated ability. X blue. You may put a creature card with converted mana cost X from your hand into play. If you do, return Metatron Aerostat to its owner's hand. So imagine getting this on Mairsil. This is both cheating a creature into play while putting Mairsil back into your hand to cast again to do more things.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I was looking at this one and I was like, interesting. How does this work? So you pay 4 and a blue to put a 4-drop from your hand into play, and then you return Mairsil back to your hand.
Yeah. And then when you cast Mairsil again, you can take a new ability.
Right. Not bad. That's a nice trade because you're kind of like not even really losing much.
Yeah. And this is an instant speed ability. So like we can just like drop something in by surprise. One of our regenerators, perhaps. Something that will trade profitably.
Good call. Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Next we have, I knew this one would be included in this deck. It's Aetherling.
Yeah.
4 blue for a 4/5 shapeshifter that has 4 abilities. First one is pay blue, exile Aetherling and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, which is obviously a huge ability for me.
Yeah, for a single blue.
Yeah, 1 blue. Next is single blue. It's unblockable this turn. Another big one.
Goes with our sort of Voltron E mode, right?
Yep. And speaking of that same Voltron E mode, the next two are very similar in that the first one is pay 1 generic, Aetherling gets +1/-1 until end of turn, and then the next one is same thing, 1 generic, Aetherling, but Aetherling gets -1/+1 until end of turn. So you can trade power toughness or trade toughness and power, right? Yeah. This card was, I remember, like impossible to deal with in all the formats it was played in back during Return to Ravnica, and I think is a very underrated commander card. Not only in decks like this, I think in like control decks like this, any deck that wants creatures to enter and leave, it's very strong.
Yeah. Oh man, and then so there's a combo in this deck that Aetherling is a key part of, and that is with Navineral's Disc. Navineral's Disc does come with the deck if you bought it pre-con. As we know, Navineral's Disc has an activated ability. Tap 1, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Right? So put Aetherling and Navineral's Disc in the cage, and then you can activate both. So you activate the Navineral's Disc, and then while that ability is on the stack, you pay the blue to exile Mairsil, who will come back at the end step after the dust has settled.
Sweet.
And you just do that at the end of the last person's end step, and you have like, your board's empty too, but so is everyone else's forever. Yeah.
Similarly to this, did you include Deadeye Navigator in this deck?
I did not. Just because it's such a tight balance of like, because I don't want to ever exile Deadeye Navigator under Mairsil, because Soul Bond is a triggered ability, not an activated ability. So.
Oh, right, because the Soul Bond won't work for him. Yes, okay.
No.
But being able to Soul Bond Mairsil with Deadeye Navigator seems pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? Like, for sure. Like, this is a complicated deck. This deck could have gone so many ways. There's so much going. I want to highlight even one more. Like, we kind of Voltron. There's a little. Which goblin is it? Spike Shot Elder. It's a single red.
Yeah.
Right? So Spike Shot Elder is a single red, and it says 1 red. Spike Shot Elder deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So all these instances where we're making Mairsil with like 10 to 20 power because of various things. I mean, that may be a little bit Christmas land, but we could reasonably get him up to 8 to 10. That's very reasonable. But then just to pay 3 and do 10 damage anywhere, and if we have multiple instances of 3, like if we can spend 9 mana and throw 30 damage around, that's pretty amazing. So
you'd have to do it on other players' turns, obviously.
But, yes, you'd have to.
That's why I was thinking Deadeye Navigator, because you could blink it and then all of a sudden you can use that ability you've already used again.
But what if his abilities require a tap, Andy?
Then we will need a card like the next one, the number 1 star of the deck, which is. Go ahead.
1,000-year elixir. Yeah, you can read this. I read a bunch of cards, I feel like, recently.
Oh, okay. Well, I read Aetherling. But 3 generic for an artifact that says you may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. And then it has an ability of pay 1 and untap target creature.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to pay 1 and tap it so if Mairsil had that ability, it's like redundant on itself, obviously.
Yeah.
But certainly a good ability just to have on board. And I don't think you're really using Mairsil to exile this one. This is when you want out there, granting both those sweet abilities. Yeah, and this. So looking ahead, 1,000-Year Elixir, Deadeye Navigator, Mairsil. There's probably some infinite combos there.
Oh, no doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And also back to the comment of like, what do you put? Like, this is a deck with a lot of complicated dials on it.
Mm-hmm.
How much Voltron support do you want? How much Protect Mairsil do you want? How much bounce do you want? How much just utility destruction stuff? I'm running, for example, not to pull them up, but like 3 different creatures that like tap to destroy target creature, like an Avatar of Woe, for example. So at what point do you decide like, oh, and like how fun do you want? Like, is Colossus of Akros too janky for you, or is that fun for you? I didn't include Mindslaver, but that could be a very fun ability. You'd have to exile Mairsil or sacrifice Mairsil to do it, but it's pretty neat to be able to take another person's turn anytime you want with your commander out.
That's true. It couldn't. Yeah. Wow. That's a cool one.
like that's the thing about Mairsil. Like, it's so hard to focus on one thing because there's so many tempting things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot you can do. The art. I feel like you can build an all artifact build with this, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then I didn't go this route, but there's so many cool artifacts that look at like having charge counters on them. Mm-hmm. So if you could have a way to like get a bunch of charge counters on them, because a lot of artifacts can add charge counters to themselves, so Mairsil would be able to do that. Right. But then be like, oh, what am I going to use my charge counters on for today? Oh, maybe this.
Right. So yeah, Mairsil will gain those abilities. You can pull those charge counters off and use them for whatever. Yeah, that's really cool. I this is why I'm very happy with, like, Tribal seemed like a good idea. I think it is a good idea. I'm glad that they did this. But I'm like almost more glad that they said, okay, here's the tribal decks, but here's these other commanders that do things that are not tribal, and that like the sky's the limit. Like Mairsil has, like, at first glance, you're like, oh, whatever, it does a bunch of activated abilities. But you can go in so many different routes because they gave you that artifact, they gave you the creatures. Like, you can really spread it around and do some different things with that same ability that Mairsil has. It's neat.
Yeah, it's so neat. It's so neat.
Neat is the right word. Those are the 3 stars. Yeah, 1,000-Year Elixir. Got to have it if you're having those tap abilities. Any surprise or discoveries here?
You know what? I added one while we were doing the show here. I typed it in here because I wanted to just address it. It's a card we know about. In fact, we've talked about it on a recent episode, but it's something just clicked with me this week. I think I really understand Everest Amulet now.
Okay.
This is a 4 generic artifact equipment, and it says, equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance, and at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. And the drawback is, when equipped creature dies, target opponent gains control of Everest Amulet. So there's the threat of, like, your opponents could get control of the amulet, and then, like, they get to draw those cards. But I love that it gives Mairsil a power boost and vigilance, so Mairsil's able to attack and then still use those tap abilities. But then, this is what dawned on me. You might have known this the whole time, but I never clued in on it. So maybe I'm the only one in the world. But if anyone shares this thought, Everest Amulet is crazy good in Commander if you only ever want to put it on your Commander.
Yeah,
because
you know what? That also just dawned on me now, because I was like, why is he talking about this card? Oh, I think this is what he's going to say, and this is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I only ever put it on Mairsil, so I get extra cards. Ramp isn't that easy to come, card draw. Like, I don't have a lot of card draw cards that are spells. It's mostly creature focused, but there's an extra piece of card draw, and it will never go to my opponents because I will never let Mairsil go to the graveyard. He will never die.
Yeah, commanders don't die unless you want them to.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be able.
We're going to be bouncing them to our hand anyway.
Yeah, you'll be able to hang on to Everest Amulet. Wow, that's a real eye opener for this card, because I've looked at this card a lot and thought, like, man, maybe I should run it, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Someone's just going to get control over it. It's going to suck. That's not good. But you're right. In an equipment deck where you just want to equip up your commander, this is great.
So consider this for the cat decks too that we're getting to is like if you only want to equip your commander, Everest Amulet all day long.
The thing about the cat decks is I feel like is there's a couple other targets to equip, and so sometimes you'll get Everest Amulet and you're like, oh crap, I don't really want to risk it. You know,
it's tough. It's tough.
So it like, don't get me wrong, it still has the downside of you can only equip your commander basically.
Yeah,
but that actually makes it marginally more usable than I think you and I previously realized.
Yeah, it never occurred to me.
Yep, nope, me neither. But there you go. Hey, you learned something new. Did you have any was there anything specifically that was like a out of budget card, like off the top of your head right now, that was like maybe you think about adding in there?
Yeah, two came to mind. Oona, Queen of the Fae, because Oona's ability is a mana sink as well. Mm-hmm. Oona's just a bit too pricey for us right now as we're going, but she's not brutally expensive.
Actually not. Yeah, she's not that expensive. She's like $3.50.
Yeah, it's just this deck got really tight. There's a couple of fairly expensive cards. It was tough to cut. I mean, maybe you just swap her out for another $3 card, certainly. But the key ability we're stealing with Oona is X and then Hybrid Dimir. Choose a color. Basically, you mill that many cards from an opponent, but they go into exile, and each card of the color you chose, you get a 1/1 blue and black fairy rogue creature token.
Nice.
With flying. Yeah.
Sweet.
And then the other one would be Geth, Lord of the Vault.
Ooh, Geth.
Geth, Lord of the Vault has an excellent mana sink ability. Do you want to take this one, Andy?
Yeah, sure. Geth, Lord of the Vault is 4 and 2 black for a legendary zombie. He has Intimidate. He's a 5/5. And it says pay X and a black. Put target artifact or creature card with converted mana cost X from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control tapped. Then that player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So you basically... Sorry, a dog just ran into the room, so it very much distracted me. Chicken was up here. Right. So, oh yeah. So you reanimate something and then you mill that. Then they mill that many also. So you're getting something and then you're fueling it for later. I mean, Geth is just a classic reanimator card. So solid, so strong. But yeah, up around $8.50 these days.
Yeah. Not that bad, but
not that
for
bad.
our budget,
yeah, but like
a bit out of budget.
And speaking of budget, actually, before we get to budget. Let's talk quickly about Wizards Tower real quick again.
Oh, yeah.
Right? WizardTower.com uses the coupon code Tower Brews if you're ordering singles, $15 or more. Get you a cool 5% off. And that's in addition to the 3% that you'll just gain back for the next order anyways. So it's kind of like 8% off in total, which is pretty sweet.
Yep.
And then, of course, if there's shipping, if $15 or more in Canada or the U.S., it's free. The shipping is free.
Yeah, on singles, yeah.
Yeah, on singles, so it's great. Get in there. You can pre-order those commander decks. You can
pre-order the singles, pre-order the decks.
Yeah, you can pre-order sealed product from Ixalan already. And that's I'm pretty sure that's only in Canada though. The Wizards has rules. You can't cross borders. Like you can't order sealed product from a different country.
Yeah, that's a weird tariff thing that governments have decided.
Yeah. So anyways, there you go. But yeah, check out Wizard Tower, whether you're Canadian or American, and I think you'll be pleased with what happens. Also, quickly, guys, buy those Ultimate Guard products because they're huge.
Oh, yeah, man. I love those boulders.
We really are loving the boulders in the archives, like, so much. It's really started to, like, integrate. Our play group is slowly getting them all.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm addicted to boulder cases.
I know. They're so nice. Like, the feel of them, the colors are so fun. Like, oh, man, I love it.
I have a bunch of stickers that I want to put on them to kind of help me keep track of what's what, but I kind of don't want to put any stickers on them.
Yeah, right? What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Such a nice finish on them. Like, you don't want to
Such a nice finish. I'm going to put a sticker on.
There's going to be some, we're going to actually be getting some more Ultimate Guard stuff for giveaway coming up soon. So stay tuned to both the podcast as well as our Twitch stream over at twitch.tv for chances to win all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some neat prizes. All right, let's move on to the budget report.
This is where we take all the cards and we take our wallets and we put our wallets in cages, but we can still spend the money from them because we have cage counters on them.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how credit cards work, right?
Yeah.
You don't actually you don't even need it anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So this came in just under $50 plus Mairsil. I haven't included Mairsil's price yet because it's too early to know what Mairsil's going to cost, because as people just buy and crack a bunch of these and sell cards back to stores, it's so wildly fluctuating. Right now, Mairsil's around $10, I think.
Wow. Yeah.
But again, this is not the best time to know what the price will be for when
That's
it
right.
finally...
It hasn't actually dropped yet, right? So.
No. Most expensive card is 1,000 Year Elixir. It's a $5 card these days, but it is the most important card. It is not the most important card, but it provides the most utility, so I would keep it for sure.
It's crazy that this card is this expensive.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, talk about reprints. I mean, let's just get this one going.
Yeah.
Because it's such an innocuous little card. It doesn't like it's helpful, but it's not like so powerful. Like there's no reason it should be $5. Come on.
Agreed.
Number 2, just under $5 is Memnoch. I actually thought this card was way more than that. Weird.
It must have been reprinted somewhere.
From the Vault lore, actually, you can get this card for $3.50 from the Vault version. Anyways, Memnoch is 7 mana for a 4/5 legendary artifact creature, also a wizard, which is huge, and it has 2 abilities. It has pay 1 and 2 blue, target permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types, and then 3 and a blue, gain control of target artifact.
That's pretty good on Mairsil.
Those are strong abilities, as any Memnoch player will tell you.
Yeah.
You don't even need to build a deck around Memnoch for those abilities to be good. They're just straight up good.
That's what I'm talking about. So many fun cards that are just fun for Mairsil. Like, do you trade this out for Oona? It's up to you. What's more fun?
Yeah, right? That's the fun of Commander also.
Yeah.
So Memnoch up there.
The next one's a significant drop in price. This one's just under $2. Perilous Vault, 4 generic. I think this one doesn't belong in the deck. It's 5 generic, tap, exile Perilous Vault. That's the part I don't like. Exile all non-land permanents. It's a great wrath effect that we can put on Mairsil as perhaps just like a Scorched Earth policy, just in case maybe, but it's expensive and it also exiles Mairsil, so we won't be able to that's part of the cost.
Yeah.
So we don't get to bounce Mairsil in response to it or anything.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah, maybe you can swap that one out for something that's cheaper or something that just works better in the deck.
Yeah.
Great. Well, there you have it. That's the first Commander 17 deck that we've put together.
Yeah, fun.
Mairsil the Pretender. Yeah, what a neat card. What a fun set this has been.
Yeah.
This has been. It hasn't even released yet. But to talk about, I mean, it's been so far the last couple of weeks. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun to talk about it. And I'm stoked to get these cards in my hands so I can build. I haven't built a new deck in a while.
Oh man, yeah, I can't wait.
The last new deck I built was Epic Experiment, and
it
proved to be very fun.
Yeah.
There you have it. Mairsil the Pretender. Stick around. We're going to do a special Commander interview after.
Yeah, this is extra special. So we, as we mentioned earlier, we're doing a little bit of a new thing here. So instead of just a normal interview, we're going to go to the Brew's news desk in a moment.
That's right.
But we should probably put a little addendum here. We made a couple of errors moving forward.
You don't have to admit to anything. We don't have to tell anybody we did any errors.
Nothing.
Sure, the video may be slightly out of focus at parts, and maybe we did think Mairsil was a vampire. Listen, it's fine.
He looks like a vampire.
He looks like a vampire. He totally does. That art looks like it's a vampire.
Yeah, right. Vampires could hold a wand. There's no reason they couldn't.
I mean, Sean did build an entire deck out of it, fully knowing it's a wizard, but
it's not wizard tribal though. I didn't think about wizards.
He did use Grixis to do it, but anyways, not to point fingers. No, it's fine. We had a good time making this video, so stick around and watch it. Even though, that all happened. Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy.
And I'm Sean.
And this is Brew's News.
An exclusive interview with Mairsil the Pretender. Andy, I couldn't be more excited to interview Mairsil the Pretender. I'm excited to see this new wizard from the C17 Precon decks.
That's right. Mairsil has a new, original, and very interesting ability wherein it steals abilities from creatures that it puts cage counters on. We go now live in the field where our very own Andy Hull has an interview with Mairsil the Pretender.
Thank you for throwing to me, Mairsil the Pretender. How's it feel, Andy?
Hey, get me out of here. What's this?
You're in my cage. I've caged you. Now I have your news abilities.
Oh, man, what? So I don't get to interview you?
Nope, I've got the microphone and I've got the interviewing skills. You ready?
Fine, I guess. Is there no way out of here? Jeez.
Andy Hull, tell me about your childhood.
I guess, yeah, okay. Born in Canada.
Were you sad? So sad all the time?
No, not really. Pretty good upbringing. Had a good time.
Are you scared of a lot of things? What are you scared of?
Well, I was scared of vampires. I guess I still am.
Excellent. Lucky there's a cage between us.
Yeah, lucky for me. You know what else I was afraid of? Aliens.
We don't know what those are in Magic World.
Magic World? You're from Dominaria.
Dominaria. We call it Magic World sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm doing the shots, all right? I'm doing the interview, all right? Andy Hull, what do you have to say about allegations of your using performance-enhancing drugs?
For sure, I do not use performance-enhancing drugs. What performance would I be enhancing with drugs?
Comedy?
Obviously, it's not true. Even if that did it, you can tell by our numerous videos that is not the case.
Well, would you take a drug test?
Yeah, I'll take a drug test. What do you want me to pee into?
I'll bring a cup by later when I bring you snacks.
Well, I like that you're going to bring me snacks, so okay.
The snacks are blood crackers.
That's bad.
All right, that concludes this portion of the interview. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Mairsil. Now, back to the news.
Where's Andy?
Oh, he's all tied up at the moment. Entrapped, if you will.
Okay, am I okay? Are we okay here?
Oh, we're okay here, all right. In fact, I'd like to interview you.
Well, here at the desk, Andy's job is to just sign off.
Okay, well, what if I sign you off?
No, please. Just, can we sign the show off, please? Mairsil, please?
Well, thanks for watching this week. I'll be back next week with a very special report on Sean Blood.
No. If you want to contact us, I'm at Sean Tabaris.
And I'm at Andy Holbone.
Send us an email at commandersbrew@gmail.com.
You can find out when we go live on Twitch if you follow us at twitch.tv.
And if you care to support us on Patreon, check us out at patreon.com.
And you can find our deck list on tappedout.net.
And if we forgot anything, commandersbrew.com.